Welcome to Monday Night Comics. Welcome to Comics with Dan. Um, Happy to be back this week, and especially because this week is, and it really snuck up on me, but this week is Free Comic Book Day on Saturday, which is, I would say for someone who's been, you know, reading comics for several years, the things that they come out with may not be the most exciting for people that have been reading for a while, but I really like just the idea of it, the getting people into it, getting people into the hobby, and I really like there's usually really good deals. Plus, I like taking my kids to Free Comic Book Day because then they get like there's usually several free kids comics. So it's just an exciting weekend, and in this particular weekend, my kids are excited because they found a bunch of Pokemon cards to buy at the comic book store that I go to. So they're gonna be living their best life. Um, so the free comic book day this Saturday, it's actually a little different this year. And the only reason for that is that there's a lot of different things that went into it. But basically, Diamond distributors used to kind of manage the free comic book day, logo and name and event. And now I believe there's just new Universal distributors or something like that has has the rights to that, and they're not the distributors for like Marvel and IDW and maybe Dark Horse. We'll see when we get into the list. But what that means is that Marvel can't, and these other publishers can't use the Free Comic Book Day name for their free comic books that they're giving out this Saturday. So they have officially created their arch rival to Free Comic Book Day, and it is Comics Giveaway Day 2026. Um, it's not going to be any different than Free Comic Book Day. What I will be interested to see is, and we can look at these as we look through the covers, is that Free Comic Book Day would they would put different colored ribbons at the top of their comics in order to determine like what age group it was for. And so I believe that the blue ribbon was for all ages, green was for like teenagers, and then red was like mature audiences. So I'm interested to see if Comics Giveaway Day does the same thing. But so we can definitely jump into this and take a look at all the offerings, and I'm gonna kind of deviate from uh, the usual agenda for Monday Night Comics so that we can go through, because there's quite a few of these free comic book offerings, and I do have a video on my profile from last year that talks about kind of the etiquette surrounding Free Comic Book Day, and really what that kind of boils down to is like for people that this is for people that have never participated at all. Um, not every comic book is free, right? Like there'll be tables out or certain areas of the shop that have the free comics. It'll say Free Comic Book Day at the top, or in this case, it'll say Free Comic Book Day, or it'll say Comics Giveaway Day at the top. There's very specific comics that the publishers put out. A lot of times they're just previews. Sometimes they'll reprint things that have long since gone past their print run, which we'll see a few of those this year. And so any shop that I've been to, you're allowed to take one of each, right? Just to make sure everybody gets something or has a chance to get one. I have heard of shops only allowing you to take a couple and then charging you for anything beyond that, which I feel is completely ridiculous to do that. I completely understand the one per of each type of issue, or one of each issue per person limit, so that you don't get people just like hoarding ones that they think could be valuable um, at some future point. But then also or like creating, fake demand. But the idea of charging like a quarter a book for it just seems for one any more than three that you take, that just seems stingy to me. So, but um I think that most shops aren't really like that. The other thing though is that a lot of shops will do big sales on free comic book day. I know that the shop that I go to sometimes will do, and he hasn't done it in a little bit, but I'm hoping that he'll bring it back. But he'll take the books from the dollar bin and make them like 20 for a dollar, right? Where he just wants to clear them out because it's been the same books for a while. Um, Sometimes he'll do dollar back issues, which would be really cool. So we'll um we'll see what it's gonna be like. But let's get into these books here. I'm gonna look at it on I put together a list on League of Comic Geeks. We'll just make this nice and clear. All right. So, starting out with a kids option here, we have Aqua Manatee. And so, my understanding is that this is a preview of a one of the DC like kids graphic novel lines. And so, oh, let me go back up. Yeah, so yeah, see it says Aqua Manatee hardcover story excerpt. But yeah, Marlowe the Manatee, sleepy, snacky, and a little gassy. Oh boy. Um when a twist of fate gives Marlowe incredible powers and a chance to team up with his idol Aquaman, his dreams of adventure suddenly become reality. Can this bumbling, big-hearted manatee rise to the occasion and save the day, or will his awkward antics sink the mission before it starts? So it seems like definitely all ages. Now this one I don't see the actual. This doesn't look like the actual trade dress for the Free Comic Book Day book because I don't see the Free Comic Book Day logo. It looks like maybe they just took the hardcover cover and put it here, but I would imagine it's going to look similar to that. That could be a good one. So that's one that I'll definitely be picking up because my kids will enjoy that one. Now here we have, and this is the traditional Free Comic Book Day logo that you see at the top here, right? And so this one's blue. So I'm actually thinking that green must be all ages, blue must be teen, and red is mature audiences. What's interesting here is last year's Conan Free Comic Book Day issue was definitely a red logo book, and I'm surprised that this year wouldn't be. Um, but Conan the Barbarian is a spot in my comic reading that there's a pretty large gap. So I will definitely grab this. The only Conan that I've read has been um, like Free Comic Book Day issues each year, right? And I've liked them, but I just haven't gotten around to really getting into reading more. And my understanding is that Jim Zub, who's the writer on this, is very much the authority on Conan, at least at this point. So that one looks like it could be good. Next level. So what's interesting here is that this is the DC Next Level like preview book, which like each year there's like generally like one or two main DC offerings and one or two main Marvel offerings, right? And so this is like the big DC one this year, but it's it's a preview for three books that have already been released. See, like Batwoman came out in March, Lobo came out in March. They all came out in March. So and right here, Danger Leader on League of Comic Geeks is right on the money. Weird for them to do a sampler for comics that will be 2 issues in when this releases. So, but that being said, I do really like that they are taking these more obscure characters and kind of lifting them up, which is I think the whole point of the Next Level initiative. So, I mean, these aren't horribly obscure, right? Like maybe not super well known to people that don't read a lot of comics, but definitely well known to comic readers. And I mean, like Lobo, I really should have gotten Lobo #1 with Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. But like really all 3 of these seem pretty good. I think I mean I'm definitely going to get this one for sure, right? Because if you've watched before, you know I read almost everything I can that's DC. So that one's definitely one that I'm grabbing. This free comic book day book, the DC Sonic crossover. First of all, my kids and I loved the DC Sonic crossover. It was fantastic. It was pretty much everything you wanted in a book where these kind of 2 groups of people meet. And it was just a ton of fun, and like my kids have the action figures and everything, and we're really holding out hope for a video game. I would love I mean, even if it was something as simple as like skins in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, where they can have on their DC outfits, and then like maybe even like having the DC characters in there as racers, I think would be great. But like a fighting game would be cool. Either way, I could go off on a tangent on this for a while. This free comic book day book is essentially just a reprint of the first issue of that. Now, what's interesting is that there is a second set of comics called DC Sonic crossover, the Metal Legion, I believe is what it's called. And that's coming out, I believe, sometime in May. So this would help people kind of get them interested, and then you go get the trade and then come back and start pulling the Metal Legion. But you know that the moment that the Metal Legion hit the League of Comic Geeks, that I had it on my pull list. So what else do we have here? This one I was a little torn on. So the title in the description doesn't sound like something that I particularly would love. It's well, and you know what? Like, actually, my faith is really important to me, right? And I'm Catholic, and so I am very, very particular about books that deal with any kind of faith. And to me, this gives more of the feeling of like mythology, because it says like gods of fire, wind, volcanoes, mischief, stories, love, war, like stuff like that, right? It feels more like mythology rather than an actual kind of commentary on I guess real religions, so to speak. So while I was kind of skeptical as to whether or not I would grab this at first, thinking of it that way, and then also like Ram V and Evan Cagle are unreal. Like, they're so good. So this one I'm also going to grab, at least to just check it out. have here? Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I hadn't I hadn't heard of this. The owner of the local comic shop that I go to, um, he told me I should read this. Not this specifically, but he mentioned that there was a book, and I think it was just like a regular like novel called Dungeon Crawler Carl. But I'm excited to see that there's a comic version of it, and again, definitely going to pick this one up because it comes highly recommended from the local comic shop. Um, the cover doesn't necessarily speak to me, but I think that I think it could be good. So we'll see how it goes. What else do we have here? Okay. So this is usually one of like um, the best books that, at least in the last couple of years, one of the best books that you can get on Free Comic Book Day. Not a lot of the of the books for Free Comic Book Day are super impactful to the stories that they surround. Sometimes they are, right? But the Energon Universe special is always like it's just another issue. They almost treat it as like an annual. The one thing I don't like about how they do the Energon Universe special is that they will release this same book with a different cover and charge $6 for it or something like that. Um, like in May, later in May. And I've seen several people get fooled by that. And I just don't understand who they think they're helping there other than themselves. So, and maybe that's what they're doing is they're helping themselves. So, um, yeah, so we've got a Mask story by Dan Waters. We've got Robert Kirkman doing some Transformers, Kirkman doing Void Rivals, and Williamson doing G.I. Joe. I'm excited for this one. Let's look at this list here. So, biggest year in Energon Universe history is here with all new stories from the worlds of Transformers, G.I. Joe, Void Rivals, and more in this Free Comic Book Day issue. Join the biggest names in comics for both a perfect Energon Universe jumping on point and a can't miss experience for longtime fans. So they really don't specify much of what's going on. I don't recognize the person on the cover, which doesn't mean anything because I don't recognize a lot of the characters in these stories. But it's neither here nor there. Flash Gordon. So I'm interested because I was enjoying Flash Gordon, but it seems like they restarted it. But it says the best-selling. This is an all-new black and white. Oh, so this must be. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's just a black and white version of the original Flash Gordon one, which is kind of cool. But I'm also not sure why they're doing that. I think I saw that they're coming out with a Flash Gordon Zero. Like they must be like picking up with a new creative team. But again, it seems like it's a consistent problem here that we're getting like reworked existing stuff and not like previews of new stuff. Right. So, I mean, from a collectability standpoint, like this is gonna be a fun Free Comic Book Day. But from a what's gonna happen next standpoint, I feel like we're learning nothing. So, but again, I'm grabbing that one. So like if we were keeping track here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we get to my first one, not even gonna click on it. It's smut, and I don't need it. Free Comic Book Day, Inanna, The Name She Lost. This looks pretty interesting. I do like Tim Seeley. I know that he can be. It's interesting that the name of the writer is. Maybe I need to read this listed before I. But Tim Seeley can write some smutty things as well. But I really like his Nightwing, and so I trust that this is going to be good. But so, from best-selling writer, director, and actress Inanna Sarkis, Eisner nominated and New York Times bestselling writer Tim Seeley, comes the complete first chapter of a modern reimagining of The ancient Assyrian goddess of love and war, Inanna, the name she lost, Free Comic Book Day special. Once the home of the love and peace movement, San Francisco is now a city at war with itself. Mayor and presidential hopeful Tim Teller promises to fix the problems, has a new issue. Brisk September evening, Inanna emerges from the bay wearing nothing but a lapis necklace. She remembers little save her name and that she's pissed. Possessed of immense strength and unwavering charisma, Inanna becomes a champion of the people, but her immortal life as goddess of love and war is coming back to haunt her. Okay. I mean, like, this could be really good, right? I think that there's still concern that it could be some of Tim Seeley's general inappropriateness, but it also looks like it could be really, really well done. And it's a great cover, very Wonder Woman-esque. So, like, this is a definite pickup for me. And it's interesting because it's like it's from Vault Comics, which is not something, I don't know that I have read a single Vault Comics comic book ever. Let's see. Keen Spot Spotlight. So Keen Spot has been very, very heavily featured Mark Spears monsters. And like this, it's a Mark Spears cover here. It's like it's an acquired taste, right? The Mark Spears covers. I enjoy it from the standpoint that it's different and it's unique. And it obviously takes some talent to pull off, right? Um, I mean, honestly, and like includes a bonus centerfold pull-out poster by Mark Spears. I mean, honestly, again, I'm probably going to grab this, right? I mean, I don't know if I'm super, I guess, super hopeful about whether it's going to be good or not, but say, oh, good, the AI generated covers book is in this. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Okay. Let's see what else we have going on here. Toy box, Keen Spot toy box. Okay, so illustrated toy box, jam-packed with all ages fun. That's interesting because I didn't think I realized that Keen Spot had a bunch of kid stuff, but now that I think about it, the Pooh Bear Adventures, I had talked about that on a previous stream. And it says kids comic faves intended for ages 0 and up, batteries not included, whatever that means. But so like it's a Pooh Bear one, New Tale from the 100-Acre Wood, and more comics for kids of all ages. Okay. I mean, yeah, like we'll grab that one and check it out for sure and see. And so like this is the kind of stuff that we're looking for on Free Comic Book Day, right? So this will kind of provide some insight into what's on the horizon for Keen Spot, right? And like they're not the biggest publisher in the world, but it's going to at least give an idea. Like I've heard of this Pooh Bear Adventures, but I've never heard of Robot Plus Girl. I've never heard of Hero, never heard of Grubs, Junior High Horrors, Squish and Squash, Sister Powers, Toy, and many more. Apparently, there's plenty of things it seems like Keen Spot is offering that I've just never heard of. So this is kind of part of what Free Comic Book Day is all about, is getting, people interested, right? Speaking of getting people interested, this one is the one that my one son said is his most anticipated book, and I have to agree from the kid comic standpoint. This is a tie-in to the new Lego Batman video game that's coming out, which should be awesome. And it's titled Lego Batman Returns, which is interesting. Yeah, so like the game that's coming out is, my understanding, it's very specifically focused on the different eras of Batman in film. So you'll have, instances where you're Michael Keaton Batman, instances where you're, Christian Bale Batman, and like so on and so forth, right? Although it's saying here with references to past films, television shows, and comic books. But it should be interesting. This is definitely one that I'm excited for as well. I don't feel like there's enough Batman comics on Free Comic Book Day. Or rather, let me rephrase that. There's not enough kids Batman comics that are just pure like and I'd love to just see an all ages Batman or an all ages Justice League comic for kids, right? Like it would just be I think it would make too much sense. You know, you'd think you'd want to get the you'd think you'd want to get young readers interested in the characters, which Marvel does a really good job of doing. Um, which is why I think that while DC is crushing Marvel right now, and not to get off on a tangent, while DC is crushing Marvel right now, I think in 10 years we're going to see a complete flip because Marvel is actually doing stuff to entice young readers. So, but I guess we'll see. All right, Free Comic Book Day, Manga Classics Journey to the West. So I am not a manga reader. I don't know that I'm actually going to pick this up. I don't know anything about these stories or really anything about this. Yeah, I mean, I do like that they get diverse on the offerings for Free Comic Book Day, but like that one's just not really for me. Man Showdown Special. This one could be pretty cool. I think that it says Mega Man Battle Network. I feel like there is a new Mega Man game coming out or something along those lines. Um, but I'm I'm interested in seeing this. Like I like playing the games, right? Like the old like Game Boy games and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't think that I have a ton of like nostalgia for Mega Man. I am looking forward to once I get through like Archie Sonic to get to that Mega Man Sonic crossover part of that run. But what else do we have here? Mind Management Fort Psycho Special from Oni Press. Okay. So this is a really interesting looking cover. Matt Kint, I've heard good things. Flux House double feature, Fort Psycho and Mind Management. The art style in the front looks great. Let's see. First two Shrapnel Ace new series under the Flux House banner. So I don't know what that is. Welcome to Flux House, the first and only comics imprint designed to conjoin directly with your nervous system to deliver controlled bursts of paranoia, anxiety, and adrenaline, as designated by our mysterious benefactors at Oni Press. That's kind of a funny way of putting it. Yeah, I mean, this one's worth checking out. I like weird stuff. It looks like it could be cool. It's kind of hard to say, but Free Comic Book Day Stitch #1. So this is a Dynamite offering. Obviously the Disney license is working really well for Dynamite because they have a ton of these books coming out. I like Lilo and Stitch, and I like my kids like I don't actually know I don't know if they've seen the movie. I don't know. Even if they have, it's not a big thing in our house. So they'll probably want to get it, and that's fine. I don't anticipate that it's going to be a super popular one. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're big into Disney, then that's that. And there's another Stitch one coming. I would have liked to see some Space Ghost Free Comic Book Day as far as Dynamite goes, some Darkwing Duck, Johnny Quest. Trying to think of anything else Dynamite that I've enjoyed. Speed Racer's Mad Cave when we got a free comic book day Speed Racer last year. Yeah. So Street Fighter Forever. I mean, this looks pretty interesting. I don't think I loved the free comic book day Street Fighter issue last year. But I mean, this will be worth at least looking at. Again, like the games a lot. They're a lot of fun, but I don't know too much about the Street Fighter comics. Supernatural. This is another Dynamite one. Um, I know nothing about this show. Uh, I know it's I know that it's popular with a lot of people. Um, I guess so. In the first issue, monster hunters must uncover the entity responsible for a series of mysterious fires in a decaying Rust Belt town. Um, I mean, look, like Greg Pak is he's very good. So, in my opinion, right? Like, and he wrote a book called uh, what is it called? It was it was a book about how when you did things that were wrong, it showed externally on your body, and like you literally became a monster the more that you did wrong. And then there was like a bunch of political intrigue about it, and it's killing me that I can't remember the name of it right now. Lawful, I think that might have been it. But anyway, he's very good, right? I'm also seeing that this Supernatural #1 is a book that came out in October. And again, we're getting like previews for books that have already come out, which doesn't make any sense to me. Um, that's one that I may think about getting. Free comic book day Terror Bites. This is Mad Cave, okay, and it's Mark Russell. So yes, instant. It's probably going to be awesome. Relive the terror in an all new black and white edition. Again, came out in October 25. It makes me wonder, like, why this is like this. Like, right? Like, why are we getting so many like let's remaster or recolor existing books? Let's, re-release old issues. And it's just like, I want to know what's happening next. Um, and you'd think that they would want that too, but it seems like everyone's just happy having people go and hunt down old issues that's not going to drive their sales anyway. And like maybe I'm getting too much into the business side of things, but and this is where the Sumerian, I feel like this is Conan, right? I feel like that's Conan the Barbarian. Yeah. Okay. So here's our mature audiences Conan. Um and that's not surprising because I figured, yeah, so enjoy the classic sword and sorcery stories as they're meant to be told. So like that I I think could be really good. Um Story by Robert Howard. Oh, so this is like an old, that's interesting. So it's just a really old story apparently. Masters one of to the by masters of the comic medium. Okay. I mean, yeah, that one's definitely gonna be worth checking out. Let's see. And so we still got a couple more free comic book days. The future is something. I'll leave it up to your imagination. I don't know this creative team other than Taylor Esposito, so the lettering's going to be good. Um, let's see. Oh, does that say cover artist is Paul Pope? He has an extremely interesting Batman series, like some future Batman thing. Standalone introductory one shot to the greatest hacker comic book of all time. let's see this. Draw an absolute witness guest artist Juan Gedeon draw an absolutely killer story by series regular Fred Van Lente, which can introduce anyone to the 60 issue ongoing series. So there I've never once have I seen a publisher say this book is going to go 60 issues before it's published issue number 1. Um I'm definitely gonna pick this up though. It looks interesting. Um, Plus that's a fun solicit that it has going on, and it's free. This issue even has giant guns and monsters. What more do you want? And that's fair. What more do I want? What more than guns and monsters? The greatest American hero. Let's see. We've got Don Handfield, and I've never heard of this. He's back, the bumbling superhero from the hit 80s TV show, and that explains that because I was not watching TV in the 80s. Returns to reconnect with his son, who only knows him as the crazy man in red pajamas. 7 days, one suit, a final sacrifice, the greatest American hero gets the ending he deserved. So, again, I'll pick it up. Amp Comics, not a publisher that I'm generally familiar with. I do like that cover, David Mack. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really say a lot about what it's about. And maybe I need to do some research on who the greatest American superhero is. Because I always thought it was Superman. I thought he was the greatest American superhero, but I was wrong. We have Free Comic Book Day, The Nice House on the Lake Special Edition. And so this is meant to coincide with the return of the Vertigo imprint from DC, which I kind of felt like it's like a little bit cheating putting the Nice House on the Lake as part of the Vertigo imprint, just because it wasn't before. But look, I like James Tynion. I think he's good. I Something is Killing the Children is a great series, and while I don't like his Batman, he writer, right? So I've heard nothing but good things about the Nice House on the Lake. So I should probably check it out at some point, and maybe this will be my opportunity. And so we're saying what special edition number 1, and yeah, it's just a re-release of the Nice House on the Lake number 1. Um, which is going to be a perfect opportunity for me to pick it up and see if it's worth trying to read the rest of it. So now we have 2 more here that are just for Free Comic Book Day, but remember, it's not just Free Comic Book Day anymore. It is also Comics Giveaway Day. So this is the only AWA book that I'm seeing here. Um, and it's like a Ultimate Oz universe. Um, oh, and that's the same. He was doing something else too. Mike Diodato Jr. has been doing. The last thing I saw him do was, other than the Flash, was Red Zone for artists, writers, and artisans. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I need Larry King, like the Larry King. Is Larry King still around? Maybe. Um, I don't know that I need like a dark take on The Wizard of Oz. I just like the regular story, The Wizard of Oz. Um, I mean, I guess maybe I could pick it up, but I'm not. I probably won't. And the last of the Free Comic Book Day, World of Archie. So yeah, I mean, like this seems like, so what we've got a handful of like recent Archie stories, like recent, I mean, like we've got stuff from 2023, right? But this could be good. I don't know if this is like if Archie is like really considered an all ages thing or not. Um, my understanding is that it's more like teenager type stuff, right? So like my young kids probably wouldn't be able to necessarily read this, but I'll at least take a look at it. It can't hurt. My one son was like Archie, like, does that mean Sonic's coming? I'm like, nah, man, nah, not for a long time. Or not hasn't been for a long time. So, all right. So now you'll notice that there was no Marvel, there was no Dark Horse, there was no IDW. And that is because we just got through Free Comic Book Day, and now we are going to move to Comics Giveaway Day, which is the same thing with a different name. Here we have Alien, Predator, and Planet of the Apes. I don't think that these are combined. I think that it's three separate stories, although I would be interested in a story with all three of them. But we got Solid and Ahmed. We've got some Greg Pak. So, oh, and then this right here, Mad Caps 6160, manifesting a crossover between these two properties. I don't care if it's bad. I want AVPVPOTA. So I doubt that I'm going to pick that one up. That seems unlikely to me. What do we have next? Amazing Spider-Man and Queen in Black. That is a given. Road to Amazing Spider-Man 1000, right? Um, the eldest has taken control of Hulk. Okay, so like this to me seems like it's going to be a good indicator of what's going to happen for Marvel moving forward. Yeah, I mean, I'll pick that one up for sure. But the one I'm really excited for from Marvel is this Avengers Armageddon plus X-Men. Uh, who's that cover by? That's a great cover. Stegman. Yeah, it's not surprising. Written by Chip Zdarsky. So let's see. So it's part of Avengers Armageddon prologue. I haven't read The Will of Doom. I probably should. I'm reading Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon. I'm reading Captain America. And so we have Comics Giveaway Day. And then it goes into Ultimate Impact Reborn, which is strange that it actually has something to do with Armageddon. I feel like that Marvel's got to be gearing up for something big here. This seems like a confusing. Yeah, then we get into Avengers Armageddon. So I don't know. I mean, so that's a definite, and like that's an awesome cover. I mean, we've got Wolverine and Red Hulk. We've got Iron Man, which I feel like maybe I should start reading a little bit of Iron Man because I haven't been up to date on what's going on with him. Like I have no idea what he's up to. Um, that's a great cover. What do we got? Avatar Legends and Minecraft. Uh, my kids will probably be interested in Earth, Earthbending. Hmm, I think I lost the. There we go. Streams back. Um, yeah, I mean, Okay, and so like there you can see the comics giveaway day logo, and it's green on that one. So I'm interested to see if it'll show up as a different color on the other offerings. Okay, so it's yellow on these Avenger ones, and it's like a orangish red. So it's and maybe they're going with like a traffic light type of deal. Um, yeah, because then Garfield's green. This is yellow. That's yellow. This blue lock full color selection and Dragon Circus. I have no idea what this is. And it's manga, which again, it's a good thing that they're putting different things out, but it's not generally my cup of tea. Uh, Garfield though, Garfield is my cup of tea. Absolutely picking up Garfield number one. It's just classic, and I recently ate lasagna, so it's perfect. Um, yeah, so Garfield number one is an absolute grabbing that. I'm interested this He-Man, the Master of the Universe, Dungeons and Dragons. I wonder if this will tie into the upcoming movie at all. Tim Seeley, okay, don't mind that. Um, I haven't seen anything by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly in a long time. It feels like maybe I'm just not in the circles that they're writing for, but yeah, no, Master of the Universe. This could be a good one. Um, Free. Yeah. I mean, that's the key there. You got to wonder like some of these things I would buy if it wasn't free comic book day. But a lot of them I would probably not. Gem and the Holograms My Little Pony flip book. No thanks. Lock and Key. Again, this is IDW just publishing the first issue of Love and Key, Lock and Key. Um, which I'll pick that up. Um, I'll pick that up because I've heard good things, and it'd be good an opportunity to kind of get introduced to that series that I've heard good things about. Now what else do we have? Minotaur the Cold Open. So this is Ignition Press, not a publisher I'm familiar with. Uh, Artificial intelligence became super intelligence. Okay, so very very topical. Cy Spurrier is a an interesting that instills confidence for sure. Um, yeah, I mean this would definitely be worth looking into, and it seems like it's a preview of something good to come. So I'll definitely be checking that out. Yeah, Minotaur, Mr. Magic, the graphic novel sampler. And like there's no description on this. It's just like a magician dude reaching through the TV. And so this is a graphic novel that's coming out later. I don't know anything about this creative team. Um yeah, I guess this is one that we'll have to learn about together later on because I know nothing about it. What else we have? Pizza and Taco. My kids have checked these books out from the library and they are junk, but they like them. So they're definitely going to be picking these up. And it's harmless, right? It's harmless stuff. But it's really dumb. So, I mean, I'm sure I'll be reading it to them several times, but Uh, Power Rangers, and so, like, I'm surprised because I feel like this time last year, we were talking about Power Rangers Prime, maybe 2 years ago. Um, I'm surprised that it didn't last that long, especially because the last Power Rangers series went, like, 150 issues, so but, I'll definitely pick this up. Ooh, Kenny Porter, absolutely. Oh, Joey Esposito. Okay. Yeah. Insane creative roster for this one. That's right. No, I mean, Kenny Porter and Joey Esposito together on a book is gonna be crazy. So I don't know if it says anywhere, and it doesn't say who's doing what. Yeah, absolutely picking that up. It's crazy how a a creative team can change your tone on a book, right? Like, I just look at that Power Rangers, I'm like, "Oh, they're rebooting it after a short time." Like, that's not a good here we are, and Kenny Porter and Joey Esposito showing up as writers, and I'm like, "Absolutely. Something's Killing the Children, gonna pick that one up." I just saw a little bit of a spoiler that I probably shouldn't have seen. It's the same it's the same creative team. Oh, yeah, Miguel Muerto. Yep. I would assume that, oh, who's the colorist or the letterer rather? I can't remember. Yeah. So we've got what else do we have left here? Sonic the Hedgehog. This is just a reprint of issue number 1, but we'll still get it because I think that if we went to the comic book store and my kids saw a free Sonic comic and I told them they couldn't get it, even though it was free, that they would just be beside themselves. So, plus you never know. There could be something in the back that would be interesting. This one looks pretty good for kids. Uh, Spidey and his amazing friends, and we have Simbi, right? Who's this symbiote, and we have Jeff the Land Shark. This looks definitely a lot more interesting than uh, prior offerings for Spidey and his amazing friends. So this is a definite, probably multiple copies of that one coming home with us on Saturday. Oh, let's see how are we gonna wind this down. Uh, yeah. So Stitch, Best Food Forever. This one looks like a manga of some sort, given the publisher being Tokyo Pop. 10 speed press. I have a history of beer comic from them that I like. This one's called The British Are Coming, so I'm interested in this one. This looks like it could be pretty cool. I read a sampler of this Last Kids on Earth from like maybe a few years back, and it was okay. Um, if my kids want to get it, then I'll probably let them, but I probably wouldn't pick it up on my own. Uh, this one looks interesting. The Whole Wide World of Mabel Mulligan. So hold on to your stuffies. Newbery Honor winner Victoria Jameson is back with a brand new series introducing Mabel Mulligan, a 9-year-old girl who has 37 beloved stuffed animals who are very much alive, a chaotic 3-year-old sister, and a summer of surprises ahead. So this seems like it's right up the alley of my daughters. So don't miss this very special sneak peek of the heartfelt and funny new series that is all about the timeless and messy magic of growing up. So the art style looks cool on that one too. So yeah, that could be a good one. It could be a good one for kids. And then finally, rounding this out, uh Webtoon Unscrolled. I don't need that either. No thanks. Yeah, so that's what I have for Free Comic Book Day. Um let's take just while we have a few minutes, take a quick look at books that are on final order cutoff, and we're going to see if I'm able to do this. Community pick of the week for you. No, that's not what I want. New comics. Let's look at that. Oh, that Corpse Night looks pretty good. Let's see. Filters. Browse by final order cutoff. Okay. So like Batman 163. So final order cutoff for this is tonight. This is part of Hush 2 Part 1. This is crazy. Holy smokes. To put it like this danger leader, I'll give you credit here. Zdarsky's run will have been done for well over a year by the time this comes out. And this was in November, right? So this has been delayed even more since then. 364 days to release 6 issues, a run that was supposed to end in August, a month ahead of the relaunch. Fraction will be 7 issues into its run by this time it comes out, which is actually going to be more. This issue is supposed to have a connecting variant with Batman #1 as well, LMAO. Delayed again until May. Good Lord, these old farts cannot meet a deadline. It's fair criticism. It's fair criticism. I can't believe that they're even still doing that. They should just stop it. I don't understand why they're bothering. I mean, final order cutoff for that tonight. You might not have another chance, other than that you will definitely have another chance. Um, okay, we'll just keep it at this. Absolute Green Arrow. That looks really good. It's about like a serial killer that's after billionaires, and because of the general left leaning politics of the comic book industry, I'm going to guess that they're going to paint a serial killer killing billionaires as a good guy. So we'll see how that goes. But um, yeah, I mean, it looks like a good comic either way. So, World's Finest 51. I'm excited to see that they didn't just like kind of say 50 and then we're done. Um, oh yeah, and then this is where they're crossing over with like Warlord, which is like an old DC property. So we'll get back to browsing by final order cutoff. Battle Beast. Haven't really read that, but that looks interesting. New Titans. All right. And it says The Boy in the Machine. That looks like it's very cyborg centric issue, which could be cool. Avengers Armageddon. Get your orders in for that. Same with G.I. Joe #22. Was it Beppo? Beppo. That was close. Beppo the monkey, the super monkey. Excuse me. And we have Tomorrow Man and Young John Kent. So, if you're a big John Kent guy, make sure you grab that. This Nightwing run, by the way, looks fantastic. Dan Waters is really leaning into the horror stuff. Some Walking Dead, Rogue Sun, new Rockefellers. Ooh, Of the Earth. That one looks pretty good. I'm interested in seeing kind of where that one goes. I've added it to my pull list because Charlie Adlard is drawing it, and Hassan Otsmane El How's lettering it. So, and like I like Chris Condon too. That's not to say that I don't think he's going to be good. I just those two alone, Charlie Adlard and Hassan Otsmane El How, are enough for me to pull it. I think there's my Gregorian chant alarm. Let's just take a look at what's coming next week. It's real high level. Wait, that's like the corporate talk. I need to take a break from work apparently. We got new Ninja Turtles. We've got some Void Rivals, new Radiant Black. I didn't realize that Nice House by the Sea was only in 10 issues. That's interesting. Spider-Man Long Way Home. That seems interesting. That World to Come, that first issue I really liked, but I didn't read anything past that. Let's see. Following week, Batman #10. That's got to be. Not sure where the rest of that is, but Batman number 9 is gonna tie directly into Barbara Gordon Breakout, um, and I'm really excited for Barbara Gordon Breakout. I wanna see her bust out of jail. Um, that's a nice looking X-Men cover, very retro. Rook Exodus, I pre-ordered the beginning of that series, and then I never got it. We've got Ben 10 coming out. Here's Sonic the Hedgehog 87. That's definitely one worth grabbing. Muppets Noir. There's the Metal Legion. Final order cutoff for that coming up on the 13th. Kaya. I've read the first volume of Kaya and I really enjoyed it. That looks cool. The Transformers, the movie 40th anniversary edition. Yeah. Oh, Royals. I like the first issue of that. That was pretty good. I might keep picking that up. We'll see. Oh, Concrete. First new Concrete book in quite a while. So that should be exciting. But yeah. Okay. Well, we are just about out of time. Actually, we are past time. But thank you for joining. Make sure you get out to your local comic shop on Saturday. Support them. If you're going to go get free comics, obviously, like you don't have to buy comics to get the free comics, but if you're able to support your local comic shop, right? They are, hoping to get an extra bump from all the extra foot traffic from Free Comic Book Day, um, and it's a tough business to be in when prices just keep going up and up. So definitely support your local comic shop. Um, Make sure you like this video, subscribe, check out my other videos. I've got videos on Free Comic Book Day from last year talking about kind of like the ins and outs of it, things like that. Lots of reviews. I try to go live every Monday when I can. But thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate it and have a great evening.